Here are some tips and tricks to get the best battery life out of your Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Just keep in mind that some of these might not be ideal for you, so pick and choose the ones that work for you. Now, I've been using my S24 Ultra for the last couple of months now, and I've never had a problem getting through an entire day with one charge. But if you are a more power-hungry user, then these tips might just help you squeeze out a little bit more battery life from your device. Now, all of the tips today shouldn't affect performance at all because, let's face it, why buy the S24 Ultra if you're just going to strip it down and lose all of its features for a little bit more battery life? So the first would be to switch over to dark mode, and the reason this really helps a lot is because of the OLED display. Now, how OLED displays work is that each individual pixel actually lights up, so dark pixels are either dimmer or completely off, meaning they use less battery. And what's great about dark mode is that it directly affects your screen on time. So if your screen on time is low, then dark mode might just be the option for you to increase some battery life. Next will be to switch your resolution from adaptive 120Hz to standard 60Hz. Now, switching your display to 60Hz does make quite a big difference in the amount of battery life you can get from your device, while only slightly impacting the performance and the feel of your device. Now, personally, I love using adaptive 120Hz mode. It just makes my device feel smoother, but if you are someone that values battery life more, then switching to 60Hz might be a good option for you. Now, another option to change on the display side of things is the resolution, and switching the resolution from QHD Plus to Full HD Plus can drastically improve the battery life while only making a small difference in display quality. Because let's face it, unless you are really pixel peeping or looking really closely, you won't really see a massive difference between QHD and Full HD on the screen size at sort of normal viewing distances. The next thing to do is turn off always on display, and this is a feature that doesn't really drain a lot of battery, but having it on if you don't really use it can drain extra battery life, which is unnecessary. Now, for me, for example, during the day, I mainly have my phone either in my pocket or just somewhere on a desk face down, so I never really make use of it anyway, so turning it off for me is a no-brainer. But if you, for example, wanted to use it at night for when you have your phone on your bedside table, then you can always schedule it to be on during certain hours only, and then you will at least get the benefit of the feature when you need it, but then have it turned off and saving battery when you don't. Another option to increase battery time is to turn off nearby device scanning. Now, this feature doesn't impact performance or the ability to connect to nearby devices at all, but it does stop your device from always searching for nearby devices in the background. Now, having your device always look for Bluetooth devices, etc. during the day uses a lot of battery, and if you aren't a person that just connects to random devices nearby without scanning, then this is a great feature to turn off anyway, because we all mainly connect a few different devices as soon as you get your new phone, and then you will only connect a new device every now and then. So this feature for me is just a good one to turn off anyway. Next thing to do is to turn off extra brightness. Now, this is going to be one of those features that you will need to test out for yourself to see if you really use it and need it. Because if you use your device outdoors a lot or in brightly lit environments, then this might be a very useful feature to have on, as it will make it easier for you to see what's happening on your display. But if you're mainly using your device indoors, then limiting the brightness on your screen can really stop it from accidentally pushing it too bright and using unnecessary battery when you actually don't need to do that. Now, like I said, this will be something that you'll need to test out for yourself, so I would suggest turning it off for a week and seeing how often you need the extra brightness and what impact having it turned off has on your daily life. Now, if you don't need it for a week or you only need it once or twice, then it might be worthwhile to actually just leave that setting off. Another way to save a lot of battery life is by turning off 5G. This is especially helpful in countries where you might not have the maximum benefits of 5G, and 4G might just be as good or even faster compared to using 5G. This is once again a setting I would highly suggest you just actually test out for yourself. So for example, switch over to 4G for a day or two and see if you notice a difference in your sort of day-to-day life. But if you're like me, and sort of most people, and you have your device on Wi-Fi for most of the time anyway, then this shouldn't have a major impact on your life anyway. Next would be for those of you looking for a capable device but might not necessarily need all of the power of the S24 Ultra, then in that case you can opt in to use light mode in performance mode. Now, what this does is it prioritizes battery life and cooling over processing speeds, meaning you will still get good performance, but then when needed, your phone might dial back a bit to get a bit more battery life or better cooling out of it. Now this setting doesn't affect gaming at all, so if you are someone that plays a lot of games, you can leave the setting on for your general use and never have to toggle it before actually playing games. And then lastly, if you really need to save battery, then you can always turn on power saving mode. Now what this does is basically a combo of all of the features mentioned in this video anyway, but then you can also deep dive further by limiting background apps as well to save even more battery. Now you can always use adaptive power saving mode, and then your device will automatically turn it on and off based on your usage patterns. So if you really want to save the maximum amount of battery, then this might be a good setting for you. And that is it for this power saving video. Hope you found it useful and informative. And even though there are a bunch of different ways to save even more battery, I really wanted to focus on the settings that aren't as intrusive and don't affect performance all that much. Now, like I said, be sure to pick and choose the ones that work best for you and use those to help squeeze out a little bit more battery life. And then until next time, cheers.